Hey, welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. Happy Thursday. How's it going out there? We're live again. Happy to be here. Yesterday, I kid you not, we literally had a tornado, Cody says, within a softball throw from the warehouse here. Took out like 2 miles worth of area, not in damages, but power. So we didn't have any power, caused car accidents. It was a mess within this little area, if you're familiar where we're at. So, yeah, no power. I got you, though, with the thumbnail, right? With the title, Jazz is shutting down. That was all me. I had to play with you guys a little bit. Obviously, it was clickbait, as the kids would say. But we're back today. We're ready to talk about the stock market, so I hope you'll join us and stick around here with us. If you look off to the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see the stock market performance today. Not bad, right? Considering some of the bad economic news that came out, actually, it wasn't bad performance at all. It shows that the market is really pricing in stimulus getting done as they kind of promise us here. So if we don't get stimulus, that could be some weakness there. But other than that, it looks like they're making progress on it. Everybody's pretty optimistic. Initial jobless claims ticked higher again. It was actually pretty bad. But the stimulus talks and progression, I should say, overshadowed that negativity there. For the last 2 weeks, we're up 170,000 new initial jobless claims there. That is the highest 2-week increase since the start of the virus. So to give you an idea of how quickly we're starting to resurge there as the bars and restaurants are shut down in certain areas. It was not pretty, I'll tell you that, not pretty. Anyways, moving on, let's take a look here. Russell 2000 is going to be your leader again today, continuing that small cap move overall. Money interested in that small cap, that's the way it stands. It is up over 27% in just the last 45 days. An incredible rally there. Obviously, it's one of our better performing funds here that we have. We manage our own portfolios, and the small cap fund is just killing it there. There's actually only 4 other times in history where the Russell 2000 was already up at least 3 months prior to a 20% rally. So that's not very often that it happened. And by the way, the 20% rally, after being up at least 3 months, was all part of a broader move. It was not indicative of a top. If you were to take a look at every time that happened, it was all part of a bigger and larger uptrend there. So good news for the Russell 2000. For those of you that were patient last year, it didn't do a whole lot last year, so very exciting. The Nasdaq. Actually, I'm going to use the Qs because we're going to try something here, and I'm winging it. If I mess this up, it's Cody's fault. But the Qs now up almost 47% year to date. Is that odd? Cody, while I'm doing this here, how often do you think that the Qs, look at that. How often do you think the Qs are up more than 45% in a year? How often, sorry, I might have said it wrong. I was trying to talk and click. How often do you think that the Qs, Nasdaq, has gained 45% or more in a given year, say over the last 30 years? 7 times, he says. Let's take a look. We'll use our little tool here that we're building in the dojo. Hopefully it works because Charlie's not here. Okay, there we go. The Qs has had a return of 45% over the span of a year, a total of 3 times in the last 30 years, and this year is one of them. So it is not, in fact, very, here, we'll make it bigger so you can see, stretch it out. Not very common, actually. 2009, which was recovering from the financial crisis, we gained 53%. And in 2003, 49% coming out of the dot-com bust there. That is it, right? You could tell that it was issues before because the year before that, we were down 41% and 37% respectively. The year following it, I always find this interesting. In years where the Nasdaq gains more than 45%, the next year gained 20% almost, and in 10%. So room to go there. Kind of interesting there if you want to take a look at some of the stats in a very easy and simple way to show it. We're going to do Tesla because we're looking at the stock market today. Why can't I type TSLA, enter? There you go. Tesla hitting new highs. Was your biggest contributor in the Nasdaq today, and Lululemon was your biggest gainer, almost 6% higher on the day. Semiconductor stocks, they took a little bit of a break today. If you look at the SMH, it was basically flat, and it was flat because you had names like AMAT that started to pull back. which is more than fair, by the way. That's had a great run. Lam Research also continuing its pullback there, and Micron, more popular name that people like to look at, will not load for some reason. There it goes. Down 1% as well. Semiconductors, or that tech space, was what really kind of hurt the Nasdaq on the day. All right, we look at the S&P 500. Got a respectable gain here on the day. It was nice and steady for the most part, pretty quiet overall. Now up about 17% year to date. Hey, just for fun, let's go back. How often does that happen? How often does the SPY, we'll use, greater than 15%, say 17%, because I want to highlight something here real quick. Over the last 30 years, will this refresh? Hopefully it does. Yay. All right, S&P up over 17%, a total of 10 times in the last 30 years. Now stick with me here for a second, because what have we done? What did we do in the last show? Take a look at this. Earlier in the week, we talked about how often the S&P 500 gains or loses a certain amount. So we broke it down into ranges. This is actually a class that I did for our customers in the dojo. We said, okay, the S&P was up like 15 or 16%. That's actually pretty rare. The S&P does not like to be up that much. It likes to be up either more than that, over 20%, or lower than 15%. So if you take a look at this, only 7% of the time. Why is that interesting? Look at. If we look at how often it's gained more than 17%, I'm going to change it to 15 actually, because I want to show it relative to the chart that we just showed. Let's see how often that's happened. 14 times. Look at how often it's over 20%. So 95, it gained 38%. That's normal, right? We'd expect it to be greater than 20% if it has a really, really strong year. Totally normal. If we saw all 15% here, then my stats would be wrong. But anyways, we're looking at 30%, over 20, over 20, over 20, over 20, over 20. 15, that fits in there. Over 20, 15, and 15, right? So look at, it's just like the stats show on that other page there. Very rarely does it gain between 15 and 20%. What does that tell you? What would that tell you if you're looking into this right now? It's highly likely that we're headed for a 20% gain, or we sort of peter out for the rest of the year and we go back into the range of 10 to 15%. Statistically, we are not likely to stay in the 15 to 20% range there. So that's your lesson of the day, right? That's kind of a cool thing there to take a look at. Let's go back over to the charts here. Homebuilders are the ones that stood out in the S&P 500 today. Lennar up 7.6%. Pulte Homes also with a strong gainer. We happen to own these home builders. We're excited about that. Dr. Horton also above the 50-day moving average with a strong 3% gain on the day as well. If you like these stats and kind of interesting things there, we do a series of videos. Bottom right-hand corner of your page, we call them Fin Tips. And this week we did an update on how much you need to have in like a taxable account, or a lot of people call it a gap account or a bridge account, if you want to retire before the age of 60. Yesterday we did how much to convert to a Roth, using an exact example of our friends and clients, Homer and Becky, or Rebecca. And tomorrow we're going to talk about fixing your excess contributions, because that's an issue. Comes up, it happens, you're not in trouble, so we'll go over how to fix that. For our customers here tonight, Wine and Wealth comes up in a little bit. I'm going to stick right here in this studio because we're going to talk about year-end financial planning, tax planning, and things like that. All the things you need to know and maybe want to get some help with from us or work on before the end of the year. And I hope you'll check out our research site. It's jazzwealth.com/research. It's free for customers. If you want to pay $13 a month and not be a customer, it is a lot of the stats-based stuff inside of there. We did best and worst stocks for the new year. We've done a lot of stats on virus stocks and things like that. It's more of a just kind of give you the research and show you what we're looking at, rather than just rattle off a bunch of stocks and hope that we're better at picking stocks than anybody else, which I don't like that whole model. And so I hope you'll check that out. Let's go to the sector breakdown here for the day. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the sector breakdown. Here's the moral of the story. What has been good this year was good today. I could just stop right there. Tech has been great this year. It was good today. Not a problem. Consumer discretionary, it's been good this year. It was good today. That was the moral of the story if you break down the sectors. Healthcare, good this year. Good today as well. What was weak this year was basically weak or flat today. Financials, flat on the day. Nothing exciting. Energy was weak, very much weak. It's still the weakest sector of the year, and it's down 0.5% today. That is the moral of the story. A couple other things I want to point out. If you look at REITs, REITs are trying so hard to wake up there. The problem is we have a new stat from Fannie Mae reports this stat. The delinquencies on multifamily properties have hit an all-time high. Not an all-time high, 1-year high. So they've hit a 1-year high there. Rent prices are now below pre-financial crisis lows. That's 2008, right? So rent prices are now below that. The problem is people that own multifamily properties, the people that are paying the rent, they're maybe not paying the rent because they're in trouble. And so you're seeing delinquent payments on that. Not good news there. That could become a focus going forward. If we stick with the REITs here, this would be the 5th day of the stats play on American Tower. Was supposed to bounce or averages a bounce of over 5% in 5 days. It did gain. It just did not gain the average. So below average performer there. Still would have been a profitable trade, but it did not hit the average. And today is day 5. So, I mean, if you own it, I think it continues to bounce from here, but would not fit the stats play results. One other thing I want to point out, solar. You've been looking at solar? Holy cow, man. Solar hitting new highs again today. That's twice this week already. Renewable energy production is where it's at. Take a look. Renewable energy production is currently at all-time highs. I'm going all the way back into the 70s when we started tracking this thing here. One of the main components of this energy production is batteries. If we look at the industrial production of batteries, this is odd. We don't normally cover stuff like this, but take a look. Caught it on my radar the other day. Battery production is what's leading industrial production numbers. It hits new highs as well. So when you look at something like the alternative energy area, it's understandable now why it's happening and specifically why it's happening. So just something fun to take a look at there. We will now move on to our watch list of the day. So a while back in our wine and wealth classes, what we did is we said, just for fun, let's build a portfolio out of virus stocks. And I went through the whole list and I said, here's how we're going to do this, and here's how why we're going to pick these stocks. Well, just for fun, the other day I ran the performance of the virus stocks portfolio versus the S&P 500. To be honest, any non-virus sensitive stock that you own likely performed just as well. So don't think I'm trying to be like show off here. A lot of these stocks just killed it. They've been doing real well and they've become really obvious where they need to invest. But nonetheless, virus-related stocks continue to outperform with all of what's going on out there. So what I thought I'd do is I'd cover a few of them and talk about their performance. You got Chewy, people buying for their pets. Obviously, just killing it here. If we look at the watch list chart, killing it, very extended in the short term. It has had the best 5-day move out of all the stocks on the virus list there, up 200% plus year to date. FedEx naturally doing well, even despite limiting some of the shipments and stuff, and no freaking go-kart because of that. But we'll get over it. It's coming. It'll be here. Up 91% year to date. It's pulled back the most over the last 5 days, actually. So if you're looking for a pullback, maybe that's just beginning there. Netflix, one of the more obvious ones, and also waking up there. Nice, respectable 60% gain, and it got a boost the other day. It was actually 3 days ago. This guy right here got a boost from the downgrade on Disney, where the analyst at, I believe it was RBC or UBS, said that Netflix is a better play than Disney all around. Gilead Sciences was an early virus one here. A lot of excitement. It fizzled out. This would be the worst performer out of the virus stocks there, as that one faded away real quick. Activision Blizzard, this is in fact one of 3 that's on the list there. Electronic Arts and Take-Two. Yeah, that's the other one that's on the list as well. This comes from that whole stay at home and play video games kind of thing. They've done well. All of those stocks have done well this year, continue to be in that virus category. Peloton up 2% today. It's one of the biggest gainers overall. Home workout, you get it. Home, like Logitech, Zoom Media, all that stuff. Those were the ones that got the sort of immediate attention from the virus and continue to perform well with that. And one that sort of faded away in the headlines but was a great performer there, up 135% at this point, was Teladoc. Remember how excited everybody was about telemedicine and how that was going to do all great and everything? These guys have done well. They just kind of faded away from the headlines there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the entire list and I'm going to post it on the research site. It will not be like a long research post because the data kind of speaks for itself, but I'll go through the full list of every stock that's on there, and just so if you feel like that's something you want to look at or have a little piece of that, you have a watch list to look at. Hope you enjoyed that. Perfect. Now I just have to remember to post that on the page there and we'll be good. Let's do stocks in the news and then I'll take your questions here. All right. You've got Alphabet in the news there. Tough week for them. they weren't hacked, but they had a few outages. We were affected by that. Couple outages, and now Reuters says that they're going to be sued by a bunch of other states' attorneys generals there for anti-competitive behavior. It's a tough argument to make, but I see where they're coming from, but I see where Google's going to be able to fight that. Nonetheless, moving on, you got Roku. HBO Max going to be available on Roku tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah. So if you like HBO, there you go. Stock started higher today, faded away a little bit because it's extended. See how it's extended there? You can't expect people to pay $350 and hope for another 150-point rally there at this price. It's a tough one. Shake Shack hitting new highs. We're happy to see that. We happen to own Shake Shack in our mid-cap fund there. So Shake Shack, what was the news on this one? Just a lot of positivity around it. Nothing in particular. Why? I don't know why that one's on. It's not in the news, actually, but they did good today. Rite Aid up 17% on the day today. Great one. Beat on earnings by 45 cents. Raised their guidance. Revenues came in better than expected. Virus vaccines and all that exciting for them. A place that you can go and get your vaccine. So I thought I'd point that out. And lastly, we've got the Jets ETF in there. Reuters says that the airlines are going to receive $17 billion in additional support from Congress, which is incredible that we keep doing this, but that is the case, and so that's why you saw the gain today. Also, you happen to be a BarkBox person? You a BarkBox person? Who says you need a dog? It's a monthly thing, little toys, maybe something to play with. They're going public through a SPAC. These things are crazy how they're doing this. We should call some of those SPACs and see if we could just go public. Cash out, man? Yeah, we're not thinking here. Anyways, that's what you got there. Broadcom paying out $360 in dividends. What else? Buckle, 30 cents. Johnson Controls, 26 cents. Tesla to be added to the S&P 500 tomorrow. Added. You won't be able to trade it till Monday, but there you go. Oh, somebody caught it. I like it. Nets out of Tesla, switching everything to Neo. Oh boy. Oh brother. Yeah. I'm not going to comment on that. Yep, AMT didn't make it, still bounced, but did not quite make it to that 233-ish number that it was supposed to go there. And I don't have any other stats plays. I thought I wrote one down, but I did not. Yep. Oh, yeah. I think in the new year, you're going to see a lot of that, a lot of China talk. Obviously, Russia's creeping up in the news there, but from a market perspective, I think you're going to see a lot of China talk, Chinese companies there. Because they've got a lot of changes to make to stay listed here in the U.S., and I think they will. I think they're going to come around, and the question is, how do we trust them? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You thought Tesla was a month ago on the S&P 500? It was announced, I think, a month ago at this point. Yeah, they've been drawing it out, but announced a month ago, and being replaced by Apartment Investment Group, which did a spin-off anyways. And so, yep, they'll be in the S&P starting on Monday. Yep. Thoughts on the Coinbase IPO? I don't really cover IPOs because there's no history there. I know Coinbase itself has history, but I'm sort of negative on IPOs, especially this year. Performance on IPOs is also negative this year. So if you pick a year to skip IPOs, you're probably happy. Yep. Mm-hmm. You got it. You've got Snyder there. Why does it keep going down? It's a nice pullback. I mean, there's nothing nothing negative about it. It just pullback from the highs there. It's had a great run from the virus lows. You got obviously relative weakness against the market. That's not something you want to see, but I think somewhere in this 20 range, you're looking at finding that support. It's been there multiple times. You keep seeing volume perk up there. Seems to be your line in the sand if you're looking at that. You're looking for H&R Block to find a bottom. So the problem is, if this is a temporary bottom, you don't expect a large rally. See the way it fell? So it fell rather sharply on heavier volume. And it already, you can see over the last 5 days, there's been very little attempt to buy it back. So any recovery you see from here, I think would be long and drawn out, very much like this. See how this is more an aggressive sell-off here? They don't usually V-shape and take back off. Waterfall drops do. This is not a waterfall drop by any means, or climactic or parabolic, whatever you want to call it. Yep. Thoughts on consumer staples as a sector. Obviously looking good. This is the one that's hinting at a breakout. You can see it there. Yep, looking good. So tighter lows, but equal highs leads to a little bit of pressure. Just need some volume for it to break out. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could bring up Bitcoin today. Yeah, it went parabolic. Yeah, crazy move over the last 2 days. 23,000-ish right in there. Very extended. If you have Bitcoin or you've owned it, you likely have a serious profit. You've got to consider taking some, don't you? Like, what are you hoping for here? Oh, Salesforce. That's right. Let's take a look at Salesforce real quick. Salesforce at least trying. Yeah, I kind of felt like it was looking a little bit weak in the short term. At least it's trying. It's not a miraculous bounce. It's nothing to get excited about yet. But you kind of hope that that just gets people to forget about selling for a little bit if you just bought it. You know what I mean? You hope the beatdown's over and it can just start its way back higher. We can start to all get along with what they paid for Slack. Be fine. Thoughts on small cap growth funds? Well, small cap growth funds are the best performers at the moment. Small cap value is a close second, but that's where you're looking if you're in that small cap space, looking for funds in particular. Yep. When you guys overwrite clients' portfolios or covers calls, do you shoot for 30-day contracts? What delta are you looking for? Each individual customer is different. We don't do that for every customer. We only do it for our retired customers. We do it based on their income needs and volatility that they're willing to accept. Most of our retired customers want as low a volatility as possible. They recognize that that because of that, their income is going to be a little bit lower, but if they can handle that, that's the main focus. Yep. Hey, are we decorating for Christmas? We have a tree. We have one tree. We just have one tree. Yeah, I'll put the tree up somewhere, but it's like this tall. It's a little. Mom gave us the tree, right? So it's just this little tree. We spent our prop budget on the go-kart, so we're kind of all in over there right now, just waiting for FedEx or UPS or whatever. Did Salesforce overpay for Slack? Obviously, everybody has their own opinion. The consensus was that they did, based on how the stock price reacted there. But we'll see in the long run what happens there. So, all right, I will wrap it up there. I got to get ready for our class tonight. If you're one of our customers, we'll see you in the dojo later. By the way, beta testers officially have your invites to our new client portal. So I might show that off a little bit. The email went out earlier. We linked all your accounts and everything. So if you are one of our beta testers and one of our customers, it's only for customers because we're showing their accounts. Have a look. Let us know what you think. We're looking for really bugs or things that look a little funny. We're going to save the improvements or things that you might want to add to it on our big whiteboard over there. But for right now, we're looking for bugs and things that maybe we haven't caught. So thanks for helping us out. Really appreciate that and look forward to it. You enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. Happy to be here today, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow.